Hey, Dark Light 74 here again. This is the follow-up video from earlier today where I was bored and it was hot and I wanted to make another video, and here it is. This one's going to be on the cymbals. Okay, a lot of people want to have their, when they make a DIY drum kit, you know, out of an acoustic kit, they tend to want to have their own cymbals for looks or whatever it is. I wanted to, but I could never get them working really well. That's why I ended up going with the old electric, ones. But I did find a way to do it where you didn't damage your cymbals, because I damaged a lot of cymbals, and let's face it, cymbals are not cheap. So this is my way of doing it. All right, here we've got a Paiste, beautiful cymbal. No trigger unit on it at all. Put that down. This is what I made. Unplug that. This is basically a bit of wood, round bit of wood, with a hole in the middle, trigger on the bottom, and a bit of rubber. Now the way this works is when this sits on the cymbal stand, it sits there like that, can move around and everything. When the cymbal goes on top of it, it creates a sort of suction against the bell, like that, if you've got the rubber on it. And it also dampens the cymbal, so instead of hearing, all that, when it's down tight, you don't hear that. When you hit the cymbal, the vibration goes through to the center, the rubber dampens it, and the trigger gets triggered. It was only recently that I learned that velocity and gain and all that sort of thing play a real big part of it. When I used to have them up there, what I used to do, I'm sure a lot of other people have done it as well, is they make a trigger like this, this little trigger box here. Now, imagine it's not attached to this, but someone has drilled 2 holes into a bloody expensive cymbal. And those screws have gone through there and screwed to the trigger unit. And that works, but the problem that we have is with velocity and gain and all that type of thing, you can hit the cymbal and you'd expect it like a normal cymbal to go, because the velocity and everything wasn't set, it would keep triggering from the vibration. So, and it's bloody annoying. So this essentially works, but you have to set your velocity and your threshold and your gain, and all 3 of those make a huge difference in how your technique of playing, how hard you hit it, and whether it's going to keep triggering. I did this and worked it out. An example is my snare. You had to hit it hard to be able to get a note out of it, but you wouldn't be able to roll it. So all you'd hear is you'd be trying to roll it, and every now and again you'd hear bap, bap, when it got the right velocity. So on my trigger unit, on my module, I've got the gain set at 9, and the velocity at, I think it's LC2, those who use the trigger units will know what I'm talking about. But that gives you the option of being able to roll, and you can get louder, and that's your whole velocity and threshold and everything, It's kind of strange because velocity is how hard you hit the drum, when it's going to trigger, but yet your threshold sort of does the same thing. With the kick drum, everybody has when you kick the kick, for some reason it always has a double trigger. You may not hear it, but with electric drums, your foot naturally bounces back, so it goes, it's almost like a double kick, and that comes down to velocity and threshold and everything. What I do is I take the threshold and I gain it up, and I take it really high. Mine's on like 45, 50 or something like that, and it still gives you the option to have double kicks going, but it won't immediately trigger straight after. So you don't, because your feet bounce, as I said, your beater goes like that, and it bounces off the skin, and it always, it's a real pain in the ass, when you're playing drums and electric drums, and everything's got to be, you know, in sequence with what you're doing, you know, otherwise it can throw you out with your timing and just throw you off, and it's not good, you know. So the threshold and the velocity and all that are a big part of, you know, your setup. And regarding back to the, you know, the cymbal setup, when you've got this underneath it, you know, your threshold doesn't really necessarily do much in this sense, but what it can do is, with cymbals, is if you hit something and you hear a cymbal in the background and it's triggering something else, you can go to that trigger, to that cymbal, sorry, and then go to the threshold on that cymbal and gain it up. So what that means is the one that you're hitting, whether it's the tom and you hear the cymbal in the background, when you're tuning the threshold up on the cymbal, it's making it so that you will only hear the cymbal if you really smack it. You've really got to give it a good hit. So it's not going to be picked up from anything else on the drum kit when you hit it, because it's not so sensitive, if that makes sense. Didn't to me, because I thought the velocity was the whole whacking it hard thing, but however, it works. Stranger things have happened. So basically, that's what you do. And like I said before, in one of my earlier videos, I find using a single jack is better, you know, because it will just give you, you know, your single note. All these cymbals I've got here, I've got 9 or something of them. They're all 3 zone and 2 zone and everything like that. So, you know, you got your bell and you got your, you know, your on the top of the cymbal, and then you've got, you know, on the edge, you know, or is it your mute or whatever it is. I don't bother with all that crap, you know. I'm just a hard hit or whatever, and it is what it is. So I don't want to have the 3 zones and all that working, because if you hit, you know, I want to get different sounds from, or different things that it can do from the thing that I'm doing. So anyway, so we plug this in here, and we sit this on the cymbal stand, obviously, and then this sits snug over the top of there. Put your cap on or whatever it is, you screw it down, you know, like so. And you don't make it really tight, because it's already got the damping from underneath with the rubber. It's taking ages as usual. And then it still has the flow, you know. It can still rock around and look real, and, you know, obviously it's not going to be like silent, you know. You still hear it, but you're not going to hear it like you normally would, you know. And this is just an easy way of using acoustic cymbals in an electric situation. So works for me, and hopefully it'll work for you. It's really easy to do, so keep making them and get it going, because it's fucking awesome. I'll make some more videos soon. See you later.